How's everyone doing? It's here. Hope everyone is good. It's here right now. We're at the end, the final game, last game of the season. Playoff, Wembley, Leeds United. I've been there for a while. It's been bad there. Do you know what, people? This is like, you almost sit here and you think, forget everything, forget what the lineup is, forget the tactics, forget individual who's going to start. I almost don't care right now. Because for me, this moment, for whoever that is in the squad who we've watched for 48 odd games this season, that squad, every single one of them, is in this moment. Whether this guy starts, we play this formation, whatever it is, has to be done. Has to be done right. There's no fallback now. This is it. You're on the edge. This is it. There's no fallback. This is the final one. As I said in the little fun thumbnail I did there, the last chance. This is it. For this 11, obviously the subs, but for this squad, regardless of what happens next season, will look a lot different. This is the squad now to do this, to make history for Leeds United, to win at Wembley. This is the one. This is it. Dial Fark was speaking in his press conference about that, about the legacy. And doing that and winning at Wembley will give you something, for sure. The fact we've never really even got there, and when we did get there, it's been failure, shows that now there's a real chance to rewrite that history, break the rules. We've done that this season, this team. This team's done that. They broke a lot of rules. They broke a lot of records. If any one team, any group of individuals, collectively, can come together and break these Leeds United voodoos, these Leeds United sayings, these things need to falling apart, all that stuff. If there's any one team that can do it, it's going to be the one that's broke records many times this season. And that's this team, this manager. A young team that struggled at the end and got it wrong. Didn't perform at a level they should have. But a young team that's shown redemption and belief since then and shown that they can do it. They can do what the manager asked. And that's important. That's everything. Growth, learning, understanding, responsibility, accountability, all the abilities. Showing that you're willing to dig through the tough times and get through them. And it's all great when it's winning, you're on these amazing runs and it's not so hard. And when teams now fighting for survival, when someone's fighting to stay here, a human fighting for survival, that's when it gets tough. And that's when you find out who you are. And we weren't up for that. The last two games we changed, and we were. And we used and harnessed the energy of that crowd in that second game to absolutely destroy Norwich. And this is what's important for me. Daniel Farker again. Look, I got pelted this in the comments. Fair enough. Spoke about, putting the responsibility on the players. He did that. Spoke about in his press conference today, the same thing. He did what I asked. Another thing as well that got pelters for, which is fair enough. I'm just saying, about the tactics. You can have all the tactics you want. You can have all this and that. If the temperament, the attitude of the player, and the information isn't going to the players, it doesn't matter. They're not learning. It doesn't matter about what you do. The basics is what he said in his presser. It's all about the basics. Do the basics first. That's what the key part of this is. Who are you playing against? What each individual role of every player has against their counterpart. What position they should be in. Winning duels. Basic principles that you learn all week, that you practice all week at training. Getting them messages across. I've got a quote from Marcelo Bielsa, and I've got a few in here because he's someone that we all love. I'll say that 99% of us, and someone that changed a lot of ways our lives, especially me personally. He really did, just understanding the way he thinks and the way he is as a person. And he said, as a coach, we can motivate them to do it. But attitude will determine how they will do it. Find players with attitude and motivation. That no longer comes from the coach. This is the key to building success. And that, in a way, is what Farker said in his press conference. We as coaches have done this 20 years. We know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about. The players are players. They're not coaches. So you have to give them the tools, and they have to design motivation. They have to design attitude. They have to have that mindset to want to learn and develop. When you get a coach with these ideas, and you've got a team that is willing to learn and develop, even in tough times, that's when success comes. And that's when the rewards are there. And that's when on the big stages at Wembley, these players turn up. And you add the crowd to that, you've got a recipe for success. And when it is difficult in games, and they need that little push, that's where you need the experienced players. The inspirational ones, as Archie Gray called Liam Cooper and Dallas and Rodon. That's where you need them. Just to say, come on, you've got this. A little boost for these young lads. Because if them young lads are confident, they own that stage at Wembley, wow. You had that crowd. And then these players reacting to that crowd in a positive way with the beliefs of the coach in their mind. And you have fireworks. These players will play with so much freedom and enjoyment. It'll be a joy to watch, and it'll make our day so much better. And just to add on to that, about the idea of playing without failure, without the mind of I'm going to fail without failure, playing with freedom. You get to that because you do fail, right? Like I spoke about in a recent video, them failures. But what are they? They're learning experiences, the things you learn from. Without them, you can't learn. And that's something that we all, as humans, that isn't just a sport thing, that's a human thing. There's always something else. There's always something to learn from. There's always something you can develop. Another quote from Marcelo. The moments in my life when I've improved are closely related to failure. The moments in my life when I've regressed are closely related to success. That's key to our season. So much success in that period where we're winning games that we're not ready for that failure side of it, right? So then when it happened and suddenly it's tough, we weren't ready. But what we did was, the individuals, again, understood and finally took recognition for that and learned how to use that successfully and how to change that and flip that. It took a while, it took longer than it should, but they've got there. And I truly believe that this team is ready for that Wembley stage. And I put it this way, right? Whether the result goes our way or not, if I see those players do exactly what we want, playing with fun, playing for the manager, playing for each other, playing for the crowd, enjoying themselves, good passes, intricate passes, good moves, creating chances, defending solidly. If they do that and it doesn't go our way, don't go our way. That's football. But I want to see that. That is important. Give us everything, because I'm going to be there, and I've never been to London. I've never been to Wembley. This is something you dream of as a kid. You want to play there when you're a kid. But now I'm there watching these young players. Oh, enjoy yourselves, because I would do anything to be on that pitch. And I know if I'm on that pitch, I'm so nervous, but I'm so giddy. And I hope Jorginho Rutter has that same mentality. I hope Willie Nonto has that same mentality. I hope Chris Somerville has that same mentality. Do you know what? When Chris Somerville won the Player of the Year, right? Whatever your opinion on that is, he's our player. He's Leeds United's player. So many EFL fans didn't back it. And I didn't like that. Oh, this guy should have won it. He scored more goals in a worse team. Oh, I don't care about that. He's got to play for those people that told him that you shouldn't have won that. You're not the best player. Those people that made up narratives about him, that he's fallen out with people, that he's got bad attitude. All that rubbish. Absolute rubbish. He's a top professional from what we know. He's hard on himself when he loses because he wants to win. That's it. He said this in interviews. He's the hardest on himself. He's his biggest critic. He knows when he's played bad. It embarrasses him. He doesn't like it. He's a winner. He wants to win. When he doesn't win, he's annoyed. And this is the same for Nonto. Nonto's still younger than him. You've got to remember that, 2 years younger than him. I'm sure Cree was different when he was that age. He's got to learn that. He's got to mature a little bit. But he will. But he's the same. He wants to win. Jorginho Rutter mentioned in his press conference about how he went through that when he was a kid. That Wembley was a dream, to play at Wembley when he was a kid. Ever since he was growing up, he wanted to play in Wembley, the stages, the big stages. He wants to be at the big stages. That's what he wants to do. That's his goal in his career. He wants to play in the big stadiums, the big stages. I've seen so much development from him. He's been bad the latter end of the season. He was unplayable for a good period. And he's learning about that failure side of it and how to learn from that. He's learned a lot. He's talking about the big stages, and he comes out at Wembley, at Ellen Road, against Norwich. What he described was the craziest thing he's ever heard in his life. You know, the atmosphere. And he wasn't nervous. If he was, he didn't show it. He played with freedom. He played with the Jorginho that we love. He played like him. So that stage didn't bother him. And now you've got double the crowd. But half of them are screaming your name again. I think he's ready for this stage. I think he's going to enjoy this. I really do. And he's key in this game from a tactical perspective. He is key. If it's the formation we think it is, and he's been that 10 role, and he's the one that's still been told to mark Flynn Downs off the ball, got to track his runners, man. Doesn't, we're finished. Big role for him. Got to show a lot of maturity in this game. In defensive positions, but also a lot of flair and enjoyment and attack and freedom in attacking positions. Because he can win us this game in that sense. You know, Joel Perot, the guy that changed in the last game, he stepped up to the plate. Took him a while. He's had goals this season. He's played his part. I've always said that. Respect to him for that. He has. He was never the most effective player. He wasn't. He didn't fit the system. But what he's done, or what he did do in that one game, which I'm analysing now, is he's found a way to be effective. And in little moments where it mattered, where he had to turn with the ball, his first touch was good. Everything was a little sharper and better. Again, in a week, from performance where what wasn't great to performance where it was. What's changed? Was it coming out to that crowd and hearing it? What made him that little bit quicker? What made him more confident? What made his first touch better? Players go through bad form and good form. There's a day in a player's head where it clicks and they go, right, you might go to training one day and suddenly it just feels better. You get more confident. You can feel it. You can feel the atmosphere. And then when you step out on that pitch and you hear that, sometimes players shrink, but sometimes players go, yeah, they believe. And that makes their game go up. That's why every single player reacted to that in a positive way and everyone played better. Not one of them shrunk into that. That's never happened really for Leeds in the playoffs. Even when we've won the first legs, second legs and got to the final, even then, the performance was nowhere near as good as what we saw. Every player stepped up to that. Every single one of them. Archie Gray. I love that kid. When he was stood at the end, I was watching him, stood just in the middle of the pitch by himself when the huddle had gone, just looking around, taking it all in. Like I said, I said it before, people. It was me. It was you. Sat in that crowd as a little boy, been inspired by these players. That was him. He was doing that. Now he's there. He's there in the middle of it. It's truly beautiful because he's doing what we all wanted to as Leeds fans. He's doing it. There's nothing more inspiring than that. There's nothing more emotional than that. I love it. Oh, and if he scored the winner, that would be the greatest thing. It really would. It really would. He's us. But obviously, he's got this amazing family behind him. But the Gray family, the dynasty, he was us. He was sat there watching his idols. Now we're sat there watching ours. This is football. It's beautiful at times. We've got to harness that beauty. We've got to harness that passion, that desire we have, that connection we have with the players. Got to come out. Junior Firpo stepped up. Since January, he's been our most consistent player, you could argue. Look, he made one mistake against Southampton. He did. He stepped out. He lost concentration. The other players didn't help out with that at all. Not getting into that. But yeah, but bar the one odd mistake, he's been excellent. I've seen the maturity in him. The huddle in the Norwich game, he came, little huddle together. And I couldn't quite read what he said. He kind of went like this. As if to say, they ain't us. They're not us. They're not good enough. They can't deal with us. Just little words like that. He's been excellent. I could go through every single player. Chris Somerville, I've already said about him. Our man, our star man. He's going to turn up. We need him to. Our centre midfielders. What can I say about them too? Been tough in games. Been out running games. Been out 14 games. They have. Especially against Southampton. They did. Southampton midfielders had them on toast at times. Glenn Kamara's stepped up recently. And him and Grove are good. They are good. Glenn Kamara is a huge part of how we play. A huge part of how quick we move the ball. How we attack. Our aggression. He is huge. And we've seen him step up recently. He's been on the big stages before. In the big stadiums. I'm ready. I need to see them two shine. I need to see them two follow their runners. If we're still going man for man in midfield, they need a track. Please. You two are important in that. So vital. Please. Yeah. Centre backs. The Welsh duo, the Welsh lads. Look. They've been excellent. Been games where they've not been helped by midfield runners, creating overloads and making them look bad, but for predominantly them to have been excellent. The leadership they bring, the desire they bring, the inspiration they bring to the team, make the team feel something. That's important. Joe Rodon's always moaning. But as Archie Gray said, he inspires him. Archie Gray said this. Joe Rodon's an inspiring character. They clearly listen to him. It's clearly important what he's saying. I moaned anyway, so it's not a criticism. I used to do it all the time, is what it is. People listen or they don't. They listen to him, and that's good, especially the young ones. He's got a lot of experience, Joe Rodon. Been a warrior this year. Ampadu, the captain. I've got to speak about Ampadu because this guy has been through so much failure. I remember I used the term failure. It isn't failure, right? The fake word failure. He's been through a lot of it, whatever it is. Disappointments. He's been through a lot of it. And this is the part of the failure bit that I talk about. Journey hasn't ended. He can change that on Sunday. He can change that. 3 relegations in a row, people trying to mock him. People that sat at a keyboard typing stuff like that when they've never even had an opportunity to be in any relegation. Getting paid thousands of pounds a week. Must be a good win for them, saying stuff about his relegation. As a way to get at him as a player. Crazy. But yeah, our captain. He's been there. He's played every game. He's been part of it. The good bits, the bad bits. He's not hid. He's been there with the armband. He's probably learnt a lot about that this season. He's probably learnt himself. He's probably been through difficult moments where he's questioned his own leadership, where he's questioned his own authority on the team. He's probably been there. Made mistakes. That's fine. How do you react to that? 3 relegations. Getting knocked out in the finals of the Euro qualifications or for Wales, whatever that was. Was it Euros? I can't remember. You know what I mean? That failure there. Not really having a home in football. Going on loan every year. Missing out on the top 2. He must be so hungry for success. You get that hunger from failure. Or disappointments. That's where you get it from. Because you know how bad that feels when it doesn't go right for you and you want to do everything to change that. And now he's got the armband and a chance to do that for the team. Meslier, the goalkeeper. Ups and downs again. That save against Norwich was huge. We go to the Premier League, that could have been the biggest moment in the playoffs potentially. He was, looked confident. Ellen Road, look at his face when he walked out. He's like, this is my crowd. Maybe he'll have these moments again against Southampton. He's got to step up to that plate. No BS. Confident Meslier. He's good. We need confident Mes. That's it. The manager, Daniel Farke. The situation he was brought into late as well, by the way. Literally not knowing which one of 10 players might leave at any day. Not even having the ability to sign players because of we couldn't until the ownership went through a few weeks before the season starts. The season starts and you've still got players refusing to play. You've still got players that might leave. You still can't sign players. He believed in the team. He believed in it. He believed in everything. He believed in the club. He wanted to get this club back to the top. Premier League. Well, the Premier League, not top of it. He wanted to do that, and he took that responsibility on his shoulders. And he told us at the start, people. He told us at the start. This is 2 years. This could be 2 years. He said that. This year is going to be difficult. We'll aim for the top, but it's going to be so difficult. And he was right. Look at the teams at the start of the season, people. Look at the depth we have. Completely different to what it is now. Has he been frustrating with certain decisions at times? Yes, but he's the manager. That's what he does. Managers do that. Marcelo did that. We're all frustrated. What he did at times doesn't mean we're right and he's wrong. Just because the result is in their favour. All right, if we took over, would we win them because our decision is right? No, we wouldn't. There's no proof of it. People make decisions you don't agree with. That's fine. It doesn't mean they're wrong and you're right. It just means you don't agree with it. We lose games because we lose games because we're a team and we got it wrong. Whether that's the manager or the players, we got it wrong. People too much trying to blame one person. What he's done this year, considering the mess. I don't think people understand because it was that long ago. Because it just feels like years ago. The mess we were in at the start was ridiculous. We signed nobody. That's just really apart from I think Ampadu and Rodon. And Rodon was on the bench at the start. We'd signed nobody, really, by the start of the season. It was crazy. We had no team, really. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. Look at us now. The team feels together. Look at that performance against Norwich from the start of the season. That's a team. It's a bunch of young lads. Daniel Farke has done unbelievable. Carried himself in a good way. Continuity is vital, and he's brought us continuity. No matter what happens, he is here. He is here next season. And we're building from what we've built this year. That is, people are changing managers left, right, and centre, and they are going to start slow. They are going to have problems at the start. We are going to build from what we have. Continuity. We're going to right the wrongs of this season. If we go up or we don't, regardless, it's the same message. Continuity. Keep what you've got and build on it. If you lose some, you lose some. Build on it. Fill those gaps. Final bit, the Wembley Stadium. People saying they're going to silence the Leeds crowd. Not going to happen. Look, even if they have an early goal, there might be a minute or two. I assure you, Leeds fans have not been to the Wembley in a long time, and we've not had success there. And this team believes in that one. This team, as in the fans, believes in the Leeds United team. They believe in them. Truly believe in them because of that performance they showed us at Ellen Road. That atmosphere was something that I will never forget for the rest of my life. And I'm ready to not forget another one. I'm ready for another memory. You ain't silencing them. Even at the end of the game, they'll be singing for them players. They will. And I fully believe in them players, I do. Football's football. Stuff can happen. But them fans will be singing. So it's shut up about we're going to need to silence the crowd. That ain't working. That ain't working. In my opinion, that will not work. Naivety of these young players has let us down this season. But this is it now. This is a one-off game. They've not had the scars of Wembley before. They've just had the dreams of playing there. And when your dream is in front of you, yeah, you'll be nervous. You'll be a little startled. These guys are winners. The professional footballers know how hard it is to get in their position. Almost impossible. And they're in these stages they dreamed of. They're right there. It's in front of them. Every one of them, I'd expect to step up and play out our dreams in front of us. Do it for us. Do it for you. Do it for yourself. Do it for your families. Do it for the young you that wanted to be on these big stages. Do it for Leeds. That's it. Honestly, people, no script. Apart from the quote, I got a quote. I love the quote. I'm just here and I'm ready. I'm excited about this team. People are doing tactical breakdowns and I should be. I wanted a different one today because I'm just feeling, as a fan, inspired by this. So that's what I'm going to talk about. But yeah, love everyone this year that's given me comments, even people that have been critical. Let's do this. Next time I speak to you, we'll be in the Championship or we'll be in the Premier League. Peace.